here with head coach Simon Riddiough following a 1-0 win over Columbia. Coach, your opening thoughts on today?
I've got 1,000. It wasn't a good game. Columbia came and disrupted what we were trying to do, but we applied ourselves poorly. We were miserable. I thought the officiating was questionable at best for both teams, and it was a typical Sunday game which lacked quite a lot of quality.
Coach, not only Marlene Fries but Krista Gastanello had to be taken out with injury. Any update as to their status?
Yeah, no update. It's typical Sunday games. They're quite a physical team, which is fine. We're physical as well. Unfortunately, we came on the rough end of two challenges. Hopefully they'll both be back for next week, but we've got to check with the doctor tomorrow and see what they say and see how the knee and shoulder recover from the injury. So we just have to play the waiting game, but hopefully we'll have some answers in a couple of days.
Coach, offensively, you kind of hinted to it a little below par for usual today, but defense looked great today. Any comments on your defense's performance, even in those last 5 minutes when Columbia really was starting to pressure?
It was, I think the total was 12 shots to 4. And that's, defensively, that's where we want to be. If we can limit teams to less than 10 shots and less than 5, you're not going to lose the game. But we just were out of sync everywhere. So the defensive pressure wasn't as good as it usually is from the front three. And then the midfield were not as tight as they should be in midfield. And to be honest, it put a lot of pressure on our back four, and it leads to the injuries we saw today. But you have to give credit to Anya Sutner. She was an absolute monster, and she's a tremendous little player, and I think she showed some maturity under a lot of pressure, and guided us to that win, to be honest.
Looked like Sabrina Bryan was on offense, was kind of the catalyst, really pushed the ball into the box. What are you seeing from her offensively, and thoughts on her play?
I love my front five. There's no secret there. I love Sabrina Bryan. I love Lucy Shepherd. I love Miri Taylor. I love Porter, and I love Bree P off the bench. When we're extremely dynamic and effective in certain areas of the field, and that's no different. Today we wasn't as dynamic as we should be, but that's a Sunday game. We weren't in sync like we usually are. Maybe that's a Sunday game, but you've got to give Columbia credit. They came with a game plan, and it disrupted everything we were doing offensively, and fortunately we had a little bit of quality, or maybe a little bit of desire at that one moment. And this game's all about key moments of the game, and I thought we should have had a PK or two, but we found a way to score. And fortunately the referee called a goal back for Columbia, which I'd like to see it on game. I think it was a favourable call for Hofstra, and we're lucky not to be going into OT right now.
A lot of subs today, especially with the injuries. How do you feel about the performance of your bench today, especially coming in on short notice?
It's a difficult one. It's you want to maintain the same level of effort, but the starters were not good today. So when you put in the bench, as you mentioned, you hope that they can give us an impetus, but it's difficult to give you an impetus if the starting players aren't playing well either. So I felt sorry for the kids who came off the bench, because they were in a hiding to no good. And our starting players have to help them in those situations, and they didn't. They left them out to dry. So the effort was there. Give them credit. The effort was there. They worked hard. But again, we have to go back to the drawing board and pick up the pieces on Tuesday and get ready for UPenn.
Coach, speaking about UPenn, is there any big changes coming, or do you think you just enter UPenn with the same mindset you entered today's game?
Yeah, I think fortunately it's the one game in the next week and like 12 days, I think. So it allows us to get people healthy, hopefully. It allows us to get some of the bench players fitter and push themselves. I'd have loved to have got Emily Rosen today. I think she might have been the difference but she's been injured, and coming back from injury, she's not 100% fit. But she's shown this past week that she can play, and in a less aggressive game. I probably would have put her in, but it was a tight game throughout, and the last 7 minutes were a lot of pressure. So I felt probably safer to keep her off the field today.
Great, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.